I am Tawanna Scott. I am doing a case analysis on Singapore and the DBS group. I'm going to start with, and this is for international trade 4422. I am going to start with the history of the DBS group. The DBS is a financial group that provides services to over 19 markets in the trade industry. It is the reason for Singapore's growth. The bank ranks about right at an AA and AA1 credit rating that is the highest amongst the world. Its milestones is that the DBS Bank did create the digital transformation. Digital transformation is a means of operation and cultural shift towards integrating digital technology into all bank functions. Growth of the DBS Bank by 2023, its net profit grew to 26%, and that was at 10.29 billion from 2020 to's 8.19. Net profit margins, it does have a pre-tax of 2.7 billion. With the yearly sales growth, revenues growth rates, and growth margins, the holdings have grown to an average of 12.8%. The revenue growth rate is 8.8%, and its return on equity is 6.2%. Its margin is held at 51%. The bank offers working capital loans such as SME working capital loans, supply chain finance, overdraft, eco renovative loans, venture debt financing, block discounting, and business loans. So this bank is basically over everything financial within Singapore. The customer satisfaction score is at a 75.9, which is the highest in the year of 2022. Uh, for my case analysis, I am going to be talking about Lee Wan Yu because he did rule over 30 years and he is the main reason why Singapore is at its peak of being the biggest in free trade. Um, Under his rule, he influences Singapore's national identity and public policy. The economy is known as a tiger economy, running side by side with Hong Kong and South Korea and Taiwan. Of course, with the bank, uh, Singapore prioritized their foreign direct policies in U.S. multinational corporations. One of the corporations we do know in the U.S. is the Texas Instruments, which is the uh, calculator if you have used it in calculus, and the Fairchild Semiconductor. Uh, the U.S. does venture out as a trade agreement with Singapore because we do hire their employees so we could get low wage labor. Lee is known for his political philosophy, which views the government as a paternalistic and technocratic manager of all aspects of social and economic life. Basically, if you go against, because they are government ran, if you go any against their politicians, you will be jailed. So Lee is considered a soft authoritarian. But as far as the trade community, Singapore is still considered the freest trade country. They do use capital and corporal punishment, and they do have strict policies on speech. There is a group that tried to help with this action. It's called the People's Action Party, PAP, to help people speak out on the internet. However, it's just dangerous to talk about anything and be against their government in that area. And you do have to watch what you post in Singapore. Um, Singapore does depend heavily on international trade to reduce trade barriers. Uh, the companies that, I mean, the economies that they do like to trade with is Hong Kong and South Korea. That's about 90% of the countries that were industrialized in rapidly in 1980s. However, the market is still small. They do have the top transshipment hub with amongst all the countries. They have 600 ports worldwide, and they serve 6,800 weekly flights to 380 cities. Uh, those two TNCs do bring in 3.5 times of their GPE. I mean GDP. Let's see. Our trades don't just go to the financial aspect. We do trade with Singapore as far as on military services. Our U.S. Navy does train with them. They do have just a close economy tie. Uh, Also, over 250,000 jobs are linked out to Singapore. Let's see, and that is from the U.S. They do have tensions with Taiwan. In 2016, China seized a lot of their military vehicles, and China did do this for Taiwan. However, in 2017, which was a year later, China became Singapore's main investor. Uh, and they did agree to work together on the Belt and Road Initiative project. Let's head. Singapore does work and continue to work with third-party markets for that infrastructure, financing, and professional services. Uh, they did sign two agreements with China to try to track customs offenses and data exchange. So they are trying to get a hold of their information and knowledge and piracy. This concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening.